Hi everyone, this is Kasia Zmokla. Welcome to my channel where you will find always photo editing training and educational videos to help you grow as an artist and photographer. Today's video was requested by Dr. Dries and I will show you how to crop, sharpen and proof your images for specific social media. So if you want to learn how to take advantage of Capture One's tools to make your images shine on Instagram, keep watching. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about preparing your images for publishing in social media. So I'm going to be targeting specifically Instagram, but once you know the technique, once you know the method, you can replicate it for other social media as long as you know the exact size that you need. And before we dive in, I have a quick reminder for all of you who are interested in my Black Friday discount on Capture One comprehensive course. So you can find the link down below. There is still 20% discount until the end of today. So including Cyber Monday, including today, you can still get 20% off on my course. Okay, so let's jump back into today's video. So we are going to be talking about preparing images for social media. So let me just jump over to Capture One and I'm going to show you basically how I've already done this. So this is the image that I have taken this year in autumn in Bieszczady, Polish mountains. So this is the original image. Here I have applied some adjustments. So today I'm not going to be covering how to edit this image, but as far as I remember, I've already done this. I will check this out, and if I have recorded a video with specific steps how I have edited this image, I will post the link down below as well. So this is the original image, then I have applied some adjustments and I have cropped the image, and now if we jump back to Instagram, we can find the image here. So this is the image that I'm going to show you today as an example. So as you can see here, it looks quite sharp, it looks nice, there's nice contrast. You can check as well how the image looks like on your mobile. So here I have 3 images, so let's check what else we have here. The second one is the river, and the third one, this is just a video that I have recorded on this morning on my iPhone. So I haven't edited the video, I haven't applied any filters, but I have processed these 2 images in Capture One and I have applied sharpening that was specifically adjusted for the Instagram size. So first of all, I have just checked the sizes for social media. If you don't know the sizes, this is the very first step that you need to check. So basically, whatever social media you are interested in, if you want to publish for Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Twitter, it's all here, and I just Googled the social media image sizes. I came up with this page. You can find many different pages, but I believe the sizes should be the same. So this is for 2020, and here is Facebook. So let's just move over Instagram. And I want to crop my images for Instagram portrait. So the specific dimensions that I'm interested in are here. So this is 1080 by 1350. So this is super important. This is the first step that you need to take into consideration when you are preparing your images for social media. So I want to export my image specifically for Instagram portrait, but let's say you would like to create your, I don't know, maybe Facebook profile picture, or maybe something more suitable for the image, maybe Facebook event image size. So you need to write down the size because we will need it when we will be preparing the recipe and proofing the recipe, proofing the image in Capture One. So today I will show you how to create the portrait image for Instagram. So let's jump back to Capture One, and here I'm just going to reset crop. So let's again clone variant, and on this one I'm just going to quickly get rid of the crop. So these would be my steps. This is the original image. As you can see here, no adjustments. There is no crop applied, so we can just quickly reset. We can check it out. So this is a very useful tip. I have struggled with this myself, and I got many people asking me how you can delete crop when you are on a certain image that has a crop applied without going inside the tabs and searching for the crop tool. And this is actually very, very simple. All you need to do is to just select the tool from here and then right click on the image and clicking this little arrow reset. So nothing happened. It means that this is the original image. We can see it basically here. Then in my next step, I have applied some luminosity adjustments, some color adjustments. You can see these layers here. And just to remind you, just to refresh your memory when it comes to the 3-step sharpening process in Capture One, if you are not familiar with the concept, I have 2 quite detailed videos on this. I'm going to post links down below, but basically Capture One applies 3-step sharpening process. So the first step, this is the capture sharpening. And basically when you capture your image with your camera, depending on the camera, depending on the body and the lens you are using, Capture One, when you are importing your raw file without any adjustments, it will already apply a bit of sharpening to make your image a little bit more crisp. So if we move back to the original image, already here there is some sharpening applied by Capture One automatically without you even knowing about this. So if we just zoom in, so this is 100%, the image is quite soft, but there is already some sharpening applied during the first step of Capture One's 3-step sharpening process, the capture sharpening. So this is the first step, and you are not doing this, Capture One is doing for you this step automatically. So then the second step of sharpening an image in Capture One, this is the creative sharpening. So here I have already applied some sharpening. I think I have done this on this layer. So if I switch off this layer, you can see that this image is getting way softer. And remember, whenever you are applying any sharpening, whenever you are working with clarity, it is super important, it is crucial to take a look at your image at 100% magnification level. And if you are at the Retina display, it is recommended to take a look at 200%. So I am on the Retina. I should be looking at my image at 200%. So the image is quite grainy. I will go down a bit lower so we can see a little bit more. So always take a look at 100%. And as you can see here, this was my second stage of applying sharpening in Capture One, the creative sharpening. So here I have added the sharpening to this image. I don't think I have applied any mask. Let's just hit M. No, I have applied sharpening all over the whole image. So this is my creative sharpening here on this layer. So I've been working on some luminosity adjustments, on color adjustments, then I have applied some sharpening. And now let's say I'm happy with this edit and I want to publish it to Instagram. So first of all, I need to crop the image to the exact size that we've already checked here. So I need to crop my image to this ratio, so to make sure that it will fit nicely in Instagram. So to do this, we can use the crop tool, and here you can add aspect ratio. So as you can see here, I have already done this. I have saved basically my aspect ratio for Instagram portrait, for Instagram landscape, and for some other sizes that I typically use. But to do this from scratch, you need to just move over here, click on the crop tool, and just press and hold. So here you can select the first one, add aspect ratio. So here you need to just type in the name. So let's say I will call it Instagram test, so I can delete it later on because the first one that I've already created is working perfectly. I don't need the second one. Let's just jump over here. So 1080. So this is my ratio for width, and for the height 1000. We can actually copy it from here. So Command C, and let's just jump back here. Okay, so perfect. I have my aspect ratio, I have the name, so if I hit OK, this will be added here to my list. So Instagram test. So once you have added your aspect ratio here, and today I'm showing you how to do this for Instagram, but you can create here a list of your aspect ratios, whatever you need for whatever social media you want to export your images. Okay, so once we have our ratio for Instagram portrait in Capture One, we can just move over here and take it from the list. So let's select this one, and now we can prepare our crop. So I'm just going to crop my image. So as you can see, the ratio is fixed, and this is really helpful when you are working on cropping. You don't need to worry about the ratio anymore. Capture One is just keeping it fixed. Okay, let's go a little bit tighter here from the top. Okay, perfect. So the same as we were looking at our image and at 100% when we were sharpening, so now we are at 50, this is 100%. Now we want to make sure that we are looking at the image at 100%, but at the actual size that it will be published on Instagram, because it doesn't make sense to sharpen the image at this size if it will be published at a smaller size later on social media. So if we just move over to Instagram, you can see that the image is way smaller here. And basically the trick now is to pre-proof sharpening in Capture One to this exact size. And this can be done very quickly in a very easy way. So now we will be working with process recipes. I know that it sounds sort of complex, but believe me, it is very, very simple. And once you know how to do this, you will do this on the fly. So we can do this in the last tab here. So as you can see here, I have already my process recipe prepared for Instagram. So I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch. So let's just switch off this one. And if you don't know what is process recipe, this is basically the place where you are telling Capture One that you want your raw file, because we are still working with a raw file. You want your raw file have exported to certain file types, so you can export to JPEG, you can export to TIFF, you can export to PSD at certain size. So what I'm interested in is to export this crop from my landscape to JPEG at the specific size that was already given me here in this guide related to Instagram. So I want to take this row and create a copy. So when you are working in Capture One, you are working in a non-destructive way, so you are not creating any images, you are not creating any copies. I can make as many variants of this image as I wish without taking space on the hard drive. So this is completely different approach as, for example, comparing to Photoshop, where if I would like to have black and white version of this image, I would need to create another image and I would have to save it to my hard drive. Here I don't have to do this. All the adjustments that I have performed here, they are basically saved in a text file, which is taking very, very little space on my hard drive. So this relates to working on your image in a raw file, and now we are going to actually save a physical file to our hard drive, and we are going to do this with process recipes. So I'm going to show you how to create the process recipe from scratch. So all you need to do is to just move over here and select Add Recipe, New Recipe. So you can see our new recipe here at the very bottom. So I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename it to Instagram Portrait and JPEG. Okay, so this is our recipe, and basically now I need to move over here and set the format and the size. So just to remind myself, this is the size. So I want to export this image as a JPEG. So in the first tab, basic, I want to go for JPEG. And here it depends. If you are exporting for Instagram, there is no point to go over 80%. So basically anything over 80 is not visible anymore. There is no difference on a screen. If you would export for print, I wouldn't recommend exporting JPEGs for print, then I would go for TIFF. But if for some reason you would want to export JPEG for a print, you would go for 100%. But for screen, 80% is enough. So this we are not touching. Resolution, this all is fine. When it comes to scale, we have already cropped our image to the ratio, so all we need to do is to set just one of the sizes, either width or height. So let's go for width, and we know that the width for our Instagram portrait, it has to be exactly 1080. So first we need to change inches to pixels, and here we need to go for 1080. So because I have the image already cropped to the proper ratio, the height will be always 1350. So this is our size, and basically here you can pick whatever you like, if you want to open the image or if you just want to have it exported to your output folder in Capture One. So basically all the images that you will export, you will find here in output folder. So let's move back to our process recipes. So here I have already set the format, JPEG quality 80, and scale width, the width should be exactly 1080. When it comes to file, here you can change the folder. So I just have mentioned that your image will be put automatically by Capture One here to your output location in the folder in your session. So let's just jump over here. So this is the session that I have created for this video capture folder, and here when I export the image it will be visible here in my output folder, but you can change it here if you want to. So let's now move over to the adjustments, and here is hidden the specific feature that you can use to control how your image will look like when you publish it on Instagram, because we can control here sharpening. So first of all, you can see here that we have crop, so you can either respect crop or not. I want to respect the crop because it's very important for the specific social media. So you can choose, you can ignore or respect. And when it comes to sharpening, you can see right now that there is no output sharpening. So the same as we were working on the creative sharpening on our image before applying any crops, we were looking at the image at 100%. This is super important. So now here, after applying the crop, I have actually the possibility of seeing the image at the exact size as it will appear on social media, and then I can apply sharpening. So this is very important. This is crucial. So once you have your process recipe created, you have to switch on your proofing. And you can do this by clicking on this icon that reminds me of glasses, so proofing. So you can see that this automatically scaled down the image to our aspect ratio that is required by Instagram. So before proofing, the image is way larger and you can actually go for 200%, 100%. But when you switch on proofing, so we've told Capture One that we want our image to be 1080 pixels wide. So here is the size, here are the dimensions, and now only after we have switched on proofing, we can basically start sharpening the image. So if you don't switch on proofing, it doesn't make sense, because you would be still looking at your image at way larger size, and basically the sharpening will be not effective. So let's switch on our proofing feature, and now we can do this here in the process recipe in adjustments. So by default there is no output sharpening applied, so I can move over here and select output sharpening for screen, print, or disable all. So I want to publish on social media, so I'm going for this option, output sharpening for screen. So you can see that the image got already a bit sharper. So if we go for no output sharpening, especially if you keep looking here at the texture of the road, you can see that it is getting sharper. So if I go for screen, it already sharpened a bit, and this is the default value that is set here in Capture One. If you want to go for stronger sharpening, you are free to do this. So you can basically, I would highlight this number and work with arrows on my keyboard, so that way I can be more precise. So I wouldn't go further than this, because then if I go for a value over 100, I'm starting seeing halos around the trees. And again, if you would like to learn in detail about sharpening in Capture One, I have these two other videos that I've mentioned before, so you are more than welcome to jump over and watch them, so you will know what are all these values here and how to control them to get the best results in Capture One. So basically, when it comes to the amount, I think that 100, it's already a lot. It depends on your style. So this image was taken during basically a sunrise. I have pushed quite strongly my contrast. So if we jump over, this is the original image, you can see that it was quite misty. There was a fog, it was very cold, and it was very, very soft. The light was dim. So I've already pushed it a lot to get this effect, and I don't want to make it too sharp. I don't want to create an impression that there was strong light and all these details were nicely lit, and that's the reason why they are so sharp. So I don't want to go that far. Let's go for a bit lower value. So basically it is up to you. It is depends entirely on your style and on the result that you want to go for. So basically this is how you do this. So once I have applied my sharpening, this is how the image is going to look like on Instagram. So now if we just jump over to my Instagram feed, you can see that it looks similar, and you can check this on your mobile. So basically this is how you prepare your images for publication on social media. By the way, if you're getting value from my videos, I will really appreciate if you leave me a comment. I'm always super curious your feedback. I'm super curious your thoughts, and I want to hear your suggestions for future videos. I reply to every comment under my videos, so please feel free to comment. Please feel free to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to this channel to see similar videos in the future on Capture One and on photo editing. So just to recap, let's go again quickly through all the steps that you need to take to prepare your image for Capture One. And actually there is the last step that I have omitted. So once I have applied all these adjustments, once I have my file size and so on, once I set my sharpening to 80, I can now hide this and I can just hit this little button here, process. So this will start the process of exporting my image, and now it should appear here in my output folder. So here it is. If I now click on this image, this is the image that we have just sharpened for Instagram. So let's switch off proofing, and I want to walk you very quickly step by step again through the whole process. So let's take maybe a different image now. So here, this is the final image. I have published it here as well. So this was the second one. As you can see, it is nice and crisp. They are consistent. So let's jump over to Capture One. So here is my original image. So I'm just going to Let's maybe move it here. So this is the original capture, nothing applied here, no adjustments at all. So then I have created my color grading, I have applied my luminosity adjustments, and I have applied my crop. So I have used this preset that I have said here, Instagram portrait. So after cropping the image, I am ready to sharpen it for the specific social media, for the Instagram portrait. So all I need to do is to just move over to the last tab, and here in my process recipes, I just need to pick the one that I'm interested in. So I want to export again as a JPEG in the specific size, and then I can even apply the sharpening that was already applied to the other image. So this is all saved here. I can go and pick my Instagram portrait JPEG. I can check the adjustments again here, but remember, we need to switch on proofing. So once we have switched on proofing, this is the size that the image needs to take to look good on social media, either in the browser or on the mobile or whatever you are using to browse Instagram. So here is my process recipe. Here are details. So basic adjustments. JPEG, quality 80, and the width is 1080. File, output location. So this tells that the image will be exported and it will appear here. Output folder. So output location, and now adjustments. So here again, I want to respect crop, and I want to apply sharpening for screen. So in the previous image, I have applied 80, and I would say that this is already too much here. So let's go down to 0. And from now we can maybe operate again with the arrows on the keyboard. So now I can apply a bit of the sharpening, but I still remember that it was very misty morning. We still have a bit of this fog, and if I go too far, if I over sharpen this image, I will basically kill the atmosphere. So I want to make the image look good, but I want to keep it realistic as well. So I think in case of this particular image, 50 is fine. So done. All I need to do now is to just move over here, hit the process button, and with the one click, I have already exported my second image. So now if I move over to my library and if I jump to the output folder, I have both images that were sharpened and cropped for social media, for Instagram portrait. So I've done this already, and I have published these images, I would say a month ago, something like this, September. Now we have November. Yes, so this is the second image with the river, with the bridge, and with the road. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you will know how to apply the process recipes to sharpen your images and how to crop your images properly for the social media. If you have any questions, if there is something that you didn't understand, please leave me a comment down below. I will be always happy to help. And for those of you who can sort of have the impression, oh no, this is just too complex, this looks really complicated, please don't have this approach, because you need to learn this. If you want to efficiently work with Capture One, you need to learn this once, and once basically you remember how to do this, you will do this on autopilot. So there are some of these technical things that you have to learn. I know that is much more pleasant and basically nicer to work on color grading and luminosity adjustment. This is more artistic stuff, but unfortunately we need to cover everything, and this is really simple. So if I could learn it, you can learn it as well, okay? So don't be pushed away by this. You need to understand how to do this. This is really simple. Once you practice this couple of times, you will do this in no time, and then you will really understand how to work with all these different recipes and how to export the same image in different sizes with different sharpening values with one click, because basically I have several different recipes saved here, and for example I can just pick several of them, and now if I hit the process button, Capture One with one click will export this image into all these sizes with all these adjustments. So this is something really important to learn and to understand. So I hope I have convinced you to start working with process recipes, and I hope that now your images will look amazing in Instagram. If you like, you can leave me links to your images that were sharpened with this method down below under this video. I will be super curious to look at them. So thanks for watching. This was Kasia Zmokla from Digital Art Classes, and I will see you soon in the very next video. And don't forget, today is the very last day when you can apply my 20% off discount on all my courses. You can find the link down below. So this is it for today. Thanks again and see you soon.